It's another beautiful day today and we're reading some more Am I the A-hole? We've got a lot to read today and I hope you guys are excited. Enjoy, guys. Am I the a-hole for accepting money from my parents for my wedding and then eloping? My parents gave each of my brothers $50,000 when they graduated from university as a down payment on their home. When I graduated, they did not do the same for me. I asked about it and they said that my husband should provide. I wasn't married. I still lived at home. 3 years later, I met my husband. We dated for a year and then we got engaged. My parents were overjoyed. When we set a date, they gave me a check for $50,000 to pay for the wedding. What the hell? I took the check and we eloped. We then used the check for a down payment on a house. My husband had a similar amount saved up, so we were in a good spot with equity. My parents are furious that they didn't get a big wedding for all of their friends and family to attend. They said they gave me the money for a wedding. My argument is that I got married and I had leftover money. Accurate in my books. My brothers are on their side, so I'm here to ask if I'm in the wrong. Am I the a-hole? Okay, so there's a bit more information in some comments here. Somebody commented, everybody sucks here. Your parents are clearly sexist. They should have given you that money when you graduated. What if you didn't want to get married? I also think if they gave you the money for your wedding, you could have had a small wedding and invited them, and then use the rest for a house, so you at least use part of it for what they intended. And OP said, that's what I did. It was just a very small wedding. And the other person said, were your parents invited? If yes, then I'll change to not the a-hole. And OP said, yeah, they were invited and they came. And the comment under that says, well, that's not eloping then. You just had a small wedding. You didn't run away and get married secretly. Yeah, so with that information, that makes it even more not the a-hole. The money that your parents gave to your brothers was meant to be for a down payment on a house. Why does yours have to be for the wedding? And like this comment said, the house will help you for life. A bunch of money on a wedding won't do anything for you. Yeah, how's it fair that the brothers get to use that money for a down payment on a house, but you don't even have a choice? And when they said that they eloped and stuff, it sounds like they took 50 grand from their parents and then ran away and got married. But they did have a wedding and their parents went. Shouldn't they be happy that you're being smart with the money? But no, they felt like the husband should pay for the down payment on the house. Is that right? The top comment says, not the a-hole. Your family's being horrible and using a BS double standard. They didn't expect your brothers to use the money for a big wedding, but you have to. They wouldn't have helped you get a home unless it was through marriage, but your brothers didn't have that condition and just got the money, and they expected you to have a huge wedding so that they could have fun. Saving up the money is the responsible thing to do, and they're being bad parents if they'd rather you spent it all on a huge wedding that you don't even want. And just a question to be clear, there was a wedding and they were invited, right? They're angry because it wasn't big enough, and OP said there was a wedding, but yeah, they're just upset that you didn't spend all of the 50 grand on the wedding, which is so understandable too. Like, yeah, you didn't want to spend all of the money. Yeah, I don't know, that's pretty confusing on the parent side, but yeah, I don't feel like you're the a-hole, OP. Story number 2. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother-in-law that she needs to stop telling my 6-year-old to be ladylike? I'm a dad of 3, 10 female, 10 male, and 6 female. My 10-year-old daughter is pretty girly, but my 6-year-old daughter follows my son around like his little shadow, and is what people sometimes call a tomboy. I have no idea if that's an offensive term now, but I apologize if it is. She loves sports and being outside with her big brother, and they're pretty close. For the spring, she just started playing lacrosse, which my 10-year-old son has been playing for years, and they've been spending so much time together outside practicing. It is pretty cool to watch as a dad, since I was worried about my singleton bonding with the twins when she was born. Anyway, my mother-in-law was over the other day and the kids were outside playing while we were on the porch watching, and my wife was making dinner. They were just playing catch and my son leaned over to spit, so my 6-year-old did the same. My mother-in-law said nothing to my son about it, but yelled, "Rosa, you need to be more ladylike. Don't copy your brother when he does that." I told her it wasn't that big of a deal, but she insisted that we need to get this under control because Rosa doesn't act like a lady and is getting too old to think it's okay. I argued with her a bit and she ended up leaving. Now my wife is mad because she thinks I disrespected her mother and should have understood that it's cultural for my mother-in-law and that she'll always think this way. If it matters, I'm a white guy from New England and my wife's mum is from Nigeria, but my wife was born and raised in the US. My wife is insisting that I need to be more understanding of the cultural differences and understand where her mum is coming from. Edit, guys, this isn't a spitting in public debate. I would have been fine if my mother-in-law corrected both the kids because spitting is gross. I'm annoyed that she only corrected my daughter because of her gender. Can we please stick to the issue at hand? Yeah, you're not in the wrong, OP. Your wife needs to be on your side and your daughter's side, not just backing up your mother-in-law. Yeah, I think you're totally right, OP. Like this comment says, not the a-hole. You can absolutely understand cultural differences and still understand that they're wrong. All mother-in-law is doing is enforcing gender roles. Why? Partly out of an innate selfish desire to see our offspring reflect our own identities, and partly because they want the next generation to fit in and not have problems. But a girl being whatever she wants when she becomes a woman isn't a problem in this country. Your wife is on the wrong side of this argument. Yeah, definitely. And like this comment says, not the a-hole, the kid's being a kid. Your wife's the disrespectful one. She needs to tell her mum not to say those things in your house because it's a cultural thing that guests let their parents parent. Let her use her reasoning on her mother instead. Your mother-in-law is also the a-hole. She can believe what she wants to, but it's not her place to yell at a 6-year-old, and definitely not for some nebulous thing like being more ladylike. A 6-year-old doesn't know what that means. If she does have concerns, she can talk to you calmly when the kids aren't around. Story number 3. Am I the a-hole for letting my kids disturb my husband during an important work meeting after he said that he would handle them for a day to prove how easy my job is? I'm 31 female and my husband is 36 male. We have 2 boys, a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. My husband works in an office and he has the option to work a few days a week from home, but he prefers not to because he says that it's easier to focus in the office. I run a small business from home. I don't have a lot of daily work, just some emails and planning, maybe 3 hours a day, but the business does make about a third of our household income. But my younger son is home all day and just dealing with him takes a lot of energy. He's really high energy and will probably wreck something if you leave him alone for an hour. And then the older one comes home at 3 and both of them are with me until 8 or 9, which is when my husband usually comes home. A few days ago, I was really tired and I didn't make dinner. When my husband came home, I asked him if he would just order something. He was also tired and we were both pretty short-tempered, so we ended up snapping at each other. He said that I should have at least ordered before he got home and he was hungry. I said I forgot and it's not fair that food is always my issue. He said that I'm home all day and I even admit that I don't have much work to do, so I'm basically a stay-at-home mum and I should at least take care of dinner. I said he has no idea how much I do every day, and then he said that he'd handle the kids for an entire day while also working from home, just to prove that it should be easy for me. I said sure, so he made the arrangements to work from home yesterday. I slept in and when I woke up he was already frazzled from getting the older one ready for school. He ended up having to cancel a meeting to make breakfast and was worried about that. Then when he took another meeting later on, the boys went out to play in the yard and got super muddy and left footprints all over the house, which he then had to mop up, and I didn't help at all. By this point I did feel sort of guilty because it was definitely harder for him to take care of work at the same time, but all I wanted was an apology. He said that he was doing this to show that I do nothing all day, and if he just admitted that he was wrong, I would have helped out straight away. Later on he had another meeting and he told the boys not to bother him for an hour, but about 20 minutes in they got into an argument about something and our younger one went into my husband's room to complain. He was really loud and my husband's video was also on. Then he told the kid to leave him alone, but he was upset and crying and wasn't listening. After a few minutes my husband went back to the meeting and apologized to the other people. When it was finished he was really angry at me. He said that I could see what was happening and I just watched him struggle without helping. I said all you had to say was please. He said that I shouldn't be so petty and prideful. This probably did make him look a bit stupid in front of his manager, but it was only a few minutes and I don't think it was the huge deal that he made it out to be. Right, okay, it's petty that this even happened. Your husband shouldn't need to feel like he needs to prove to you that you do nothing all day and then organizes to work from home so that he can prove to you that you don't do any work. That's all completely petty to start with. Like, are you a team or not? He should know that you don't just sit around and do nothing all day. It shouldn't have even gotten to this point. And also, he called you, OP, petty and prideful, when like he's being petty by even doing any of this. And yeah, he said that he'd prove to you that he can handle the kids, and he couldn't handle the kids. Why is he trying to like one-up you or something? It's so stupid. Like, you're a couple. You're on the same team. You don't need to try and prove each other wrong. Yeah, like this comment says, he's seriously saying that you shouldn't be so petty and prideful while you are being petty with reason. He is the one being prideful. All he had to do was admit that he was wrong and you would have helped, but he chose to screw up in front of his manager rather than admit fault. Not the a-hole. Yeah, that's right. And what was the point of any of it? To make you feel bad, OP? Yeah, like this comment says, you're not the a-hole. He said that he was doing this to show that I do nothing all day. Automatic a-hole energy there. He was really angry at me. He said I could see what was happening and I just watched him struggle without helping. What you could see is what your day-to-day life is like, just starring him for a change. He said I shouldn't be so petty and prideful. Look who's talking. Yeah, that's the most annoying part about this. The husband is being so bloody petty and prideful by even saying that he was going to do this. And yeah, like the comment said, he said he was doing this to show that I do nothing all day. That's definitely automatic a-hole energy. Yeah, you're not the a-hole, OP. And little petty stuff like this is so toxic for a relationship. He needs to be way more understanding instead of being like, oh, I'm going to prove my wife wrong. What does that accomplish? Nothing. Story number 4. Am I the a-hole for letting somebody skip my bachelorette party and not telling them new details that would have changed their mind? Apologies in advance, as I did have a hard time writing this situation in a single sentence. My brother has been trying to push me to get closer to his girlfriend Mary, together for 3 months. I've done my best to get to know her, initiating dinners and trying her hobbies with her, etc. But we don't really get along. I personally think she's a snob. She complimented my designer bag but took the compliment back when she found out that it was thrifted. As in literally said, yike, I take that back. While she thinks I lack culture and sophistication, also something she has mentioned when trying to convince me to do a makeover with her. The issue is that I'm getting married this year and my brother has been really trying to get her involved. I put my foot down with the bridal party because they've only been dating for 3 months and I don't know her, but he insisted that I invite her to the bachelorette. It was supposed to be super low-key and local. Mary tried to push for something more extravagant, but it really wasn't in my budget. When I wouldn't budge, she told us something came up that weekend and she couldn't go. I was later surprised by my friends who had come together to organise a lavish weekend through favours and points, i.e. one of my friend's aunts works for a spa, so she was able to get discounted packages. Another used her travel points to book a suite. I was not told about this and I was truly and happily surprised. The issue is that Mary found out when we posted pictures and she was pissed. My brother's now saying that I deliberately left her out, but she told me that she was busy. Mary said that if she had known what the weekend was like though, she would have rearranged her schedule. I feel conflicted because I suspect that my friends didn't tell Mary on purpose, but they're claiming that they made these plans after Mary bowed out and didn't reach back out since she was busy. My brother still says that I should have double checked and made more of an effort to let Mary know my plans, so I figured that I'd ask the internet for their thoughts. No way, OP. What, you should double check and make an effort to let Mary know your plans? Mary, that's obviously so bloody shallow. Like what, they don't care about you, OP, but they care about how nice the event was, and they're upset that they didn't get to enjoy it, but they weren't going to go to support you? The way this reads makes it sound like Mary is super shallow, does not really care about you, OP, is yes, snobbish and rude and says comments like you lack culture and sophistication, judgmental as well about the designer bag and stuff. And yeah, they were too busy when it wasn't going to be super lavish, but they were interested the second that the plans were changing. Yeah, Mary sounds kind of insufferable, OP. I don't blame you for not wanting to get closer to her. The top comment says, not the a-hole, and your brother needs to back off. You don't need to be his snooty girlfriend's bestie. You extended an invitation to your bachelorette. She declined the invitation, feigning that she had other plans. Your friend surprised you with a spa weekend. The issue is that Mary found out when we posted pictures and she was pissed. My brother is now saying that I deliberately left her out, but she told me that she was busy. Mary said that if she had known what the weekend was like though, she would have rearranged her schedule. By the way, before we even finish reading this comment, Mary is literally saying there that they don't care about you, OP. Mary sounds awful. This situation falls into the category of not your problem. If Miss Snooty Patooty's schedule was too busy for a night at Dave & Buster's, she's still too busy for a spa weekend. Your brother's delusional if he thinks his girlfriend matters to anybody but him. Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, hey brother, can you not see how awful Mary is? The comment under that says, right. In other words, what Mary is saying is, I don't care about you enough to rearrange to celebrate you, but I do care about me having a good time enough to figure out scheduling in order to have a good time for me. And this comment too, not the a-hole. Where does Mary get off claiming that you deliberately left her out after she told you that she was busy? If she's busy and wouldn't be able to attend. If she really wasn't busy, she lied. Either way, she hasn't got a leg to stand on here, and she is a snob, which she proved when she complimented your handbag but took it back when she found out it came secondhand. It's the same bag, Mary. The same bag. This woman has her priorities wrong. You can only hope that your brother wakes up to her nonsense soon and leaves her behind. Yeah, definitely. Mary only cares about herself, and that is so obvious here. You're not the a-hole, OP. Story number 5. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother-in-law to please keep her criticisms to herself and eventually kicking her out of lunch? I, female 32, am a mum to a beautiful little girl, female 6, and she's been telling me all about a new cafe that her friend went to which serves princess cakes. She told me it's very fancy and people only go for special occasions when they can dress up. I had a look online and they specialize in high teas. It looked lovely and I knew it'd make my daughter happy, so I booked a table. Unfortunately for me, this place is brand new and very popular, so while I initially wanted to book for Mother's Day in a couple of weeks, I could only arrange a table for today. I thought we could still do it as an early Mother's Day celebration, so I also invited my mum, female 60, and my mother-in-law, female 64. My daughter was so excited. She wore her favorite dress and told everybody that she'd be just like a princess. It was so lovely to share her joy. My mother-in-law, on the other hand, was not so thrilled. Now, it's important to note that while my mother-in-law does have a heart of gold, she's very salt of the earth and is quite frugal. I don't mean it as a criticism. It's just who she is. Despite it being my treat, my mother-in-law insisted that the whole thing was a waste of money, that the cakes were beyond ridiculous in their size and it was all a bit pretentious. She's obviously entitled to her opinion, but I could see that her comments were sapping some of my daughter's joy. Even when my daughter said that this is what princesses eat, after a comment about how ridiculous it all looks, my mother-in-law said that princesses would want a proper meal and not something that's fit only to feed birds. Oh, get out of here. Eventually, I asked my mother-in-law to accompany me to the bathroom, and I asked her to please keep her criticisms and negative comments to herself. We were trying to have a nice day together, but more importantly, my daughter had really been looking forward to this, and it was difficult for her to enjoy it when somebody is constantly acting negatively. My mother-in-law said that I was giving my daughter far too much credit. She wouldn't understand half of the criticisms, and even if she did, it's important that she understands the value of money. Oh, get out of here. Oh my my god. Eventually, I asked her to please leave if she couldn't let my daughter enjoy herself, which is what she did. Now my mother-in-law is telling the family that I cut her out of the Mother's Day celebration because she was too frugal and couldn't pander to a child. I know she's being ridiculous, but my husband is saying that I could have just kept the peace for a couple of hours. Nah, dude. But I instead chose to act drastically. He said the family being together is more important than whether somebody feels a restaurant is overpriced. Did I act drastically? Was I the a-hole? Edit, thank you to everybody for your comments. I went away for a few hours and this blew up. I'm trying to read through everything, but I do appreciate you all taking time to share your opinions. No, you did the right thing, OP. You definitely shouldn't have kept the peace. Your mother-in-law was being unnecessarily negative. Like, why the hell does she feel like she needs to say any of that sort of stuff? And yeah, she couldn't stop herself from saying that stuff. And she couldn't go, oh, well, maybe this isn't about me and it isn't about the stuff that I'm talking about. Maybe we could let your daughter have fun instead of turning it into something negative. And she couldn't do that, so she left. The mother-in-law is definitely in the wrong, and so's your husband, OP. Why the hell should the mother-in-law be allowed to be there if all she's doing is making everybody uncomfortable? The top comment says, not the a-hole, and your husband is 100% wrong. I hate this notion that family being together is more important. No, it's not. In this case, if somebody is being rude throughout the meal, you should get them to leave. Why excuse their bad behavior? If mother-in-law was spewing racist comments during the meal, nobody would be saying, oh, just keep the peace. It's more important for family to be together. No, it isn't. Not if you're making everybody else uncomfortable. Please show this to your husband. And the comment under that says, I'd say the husband is 100% right. Family being together is more important than a restaurant being overpriced. That's why his mother should have kept her mouth shut and kept the peace herself instead of uttering her warmongering comments. It wasn't OP who was threatening the peace. It was shattered the moment the little girl caught onto the criticism and her grandmother was too far up her own butt to let her have her princess day. You're not the a-hole. Yeah, like, did somebody call the fun police? Why would you want them to be there anyway? You 100% did the right thing, OP. Story number 6. Am I the a-hole because I won't give my brother daycare for $25 a day? I, 33 female, recently divorced mum, operate an in-home daycare with my sister. For the last few weeks, we've been caring for our 10-month-old nephew, our brother's son, with the expectation that my brother will eventually start paying us, including back pay. We've cared for my nephew 14 days so far, about 4 to 7 hours a day. My brother wants me to charge only $25 per day, whereas we usually charge $60 per day. When I made a case that $30 per day is reasonable, he responded, 1. I'm not a client, I'm your brother and he's your nephew first off. When you and ex-husband were considering selling your home, I was going to do 1% commission instead of 3% because you're family, which roughly would have been about an $8,500 pay cut. This was never discussed. Number 2, I did pay hundreds for daycare and I have no problem doing it again. The difference is the daycare, I know 100% I can take my son there. With him going to you guys, we have to figure out a solution using leave hours. Anytime the house is down with sickness or you go on vacation, I'm compensating based on the amount of work you have to do for the 3 to 4 hours that he's there. Actually, hourly, it's more than compensating. It's not my fault you chose a route where you don't make a lot of money, but that damn sure doesn't make it my responsibility to make up for it. Number 4, I think your mindset is a little twisted. You have the opportunity to see and build a relationship with your nephew and get paid for it separately, where we don't count towards your attendance. That's either $400 to $450 a month for seeing your nephew, or if you want to be petty, it can easily be 0. Number 5, y'all are the ones that said over and over again you wanted to see my nephew more often and wish that he would go there. I'm not by any means strapped for money, where I can't easily put him back in daycare full time, but y'all wanted to watch him and I knew it would bring some extra money your way at the same time, so it should be a win-win. Where you have it messed up is you think that I need to take him there and you want to talk like he's just another kid or I'm just another client. I'm not the one to be getting in it back and forth with. If you want the money every month to see your nephew, then you need to check yourself, or I'll keep him the rest of this week and we'll start somewhere else next week. I'm not here to play you're hurting my feelings games. Let me know, but this isn't a back and forth. I thought it was a good way for him to spend time with his family and to put some money in your pocket. If it's a problem already, just say so and I'll gladly make other arrangements. After that, I responded that I thought his message was entitled and disrespectful and I think it's best that we don't continue a business relationship. My brother says that I'm entitled, my mindset is twisted and I should say less. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. You're doing something for him. He's bloody acting like he's doing you a favor. That's so frustrating. He's been taking advantage of you, OP. And I bet you he's just upset that you don't like it. Like this comment says, not the a-hole. You're doing him a favor, not the other way around. I love that he tried to flip that on you. Here, I'll do you a favor. Look after my child in lieu of a kid who pays the full amount and relish the time that he's ever so graciously allowing you with your nephew. Well, bugger that. You did the right thing. I don't know why he fails to realize whether it's in your home or not. You're running a daycare. He made his bed. Now he can lie in it. Yeah, and the audacity to be telling you what to do, OP. And this comment too. Not the a-hole. Tell him to go back to paying for expensive daycare tomorrow. 1. Brother is unhappy with a 50% discount. 2. Brother fails to see that his child will be taken care of by family, not strangers. And also the brother acts like like he's doing you a favor by dropping off his kid and paying you anything. Tomorrow, that's the day that he needs to go pay strangers a ton of money to watch his kid. Yeah, your brother has a lot of audacity, OP. Story number 7. Am I the a-hole for calling my parents' plan stupid? I, 17 male, have a sister, 1 month away from 15, who recently had 3 of her good friends die. Oh god. She was very energetic and, to be honest, rather girly before that. Now she stopped styling her hair, something she spent a lot of time and effort doing once. She does the bare minimum bathing and grooming and wears the same few hoodies and sweatpants. More strangely, she's been going at cardboard boxes with a knife until they look like the product of an angry animal. She's also been drawing herself, hanging out and doing activities with these 2 characters that I've never heard of. Sunny from Omori and Chris from Deltarune. If anybody has knowledge, appreciated. Our parents want to incentivize her to go back to her old self. They talked about removing the non-pink and white girl stuff from her closet while she's showering and redecorating her room while she's at a cheer practice, which they haven't let her quit after she asked, to try and get her into the correct headspace. I straight up laughed and called that the dumbest idea I ever heard. They ignored me at first, but I continued and said that I will not let them live their failure down. They said if they wanted my thoughts, they'd ask. Things got heated and I said that with them, there's no wonder she's miserable. They've begun to give me the silent treatment. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. From what we just read, it sounds like the parents are trying to make it just disappear. That's awfully traumatic for your sister. She's gonna be grieving. There's no way to suddenly make things better, you know? And like the top comment says, what she needs is grief counseling with a therapist. And OP said done. The comment under that says, does done mean that she's already in grief counseling and it isn't helping? And OP said no, it means that she's in it. Not the a-hole. Your sister is going through something traumatic and needs to grieve. Your parents sound like they're trying to just make it go away when she needs to go through the process of grieving. If your parents want to do something to help her, they need to take her to therapy. Yeah, you're not the a-hole, OP. And it does sound like you're there for your sister, which is awesome. Make sure you just be as supportive as you can be. And I feel like that's definitely enough for today. That was an adventure of an episode and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, time for something wholesome. Morning snuggles with my wife in bed. It's Saturday. Nothing to do today. The kids are still asleep. It's raining. Oh my god. It just keeps on getting better. That's so beautiful. And yeah, that sounds awesome. Always sift your flour to remove lumps. Oh, can I please keep it? Beautiful little kitty cat and such a cute little sleeping face. So fluffy and clean too. Adorable. It doesn't matter what difficulty you play on in a game, as long as you're having fun. Oh yeah, definitely. When I was a kid, I used to feel so bad for playing Minecraft on peaceful mode, but I just didn't want to have to deal with the monsters, you know? And that's completely fine. Tapping somebody on their left shoulder but being on the right. Wow, that's so funny. We've definitely all done this. Like, hey, made you look. That's so cute. And on that beautiful note, that's enough for today. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did and you want to see more Am I the A-hole episodes, or really any episodes, make sure you like and subscribe and let me know down below what you thought. And the comment of the day goes to Moonriser. To anybody who reads this, I hope you have a lovely day. Oh, that's so cute. Thank you for commenting this. And yeah, I also hope that you guys have a lovely day. Thank you for commenting that, Moonriser. And thank you for the support. It means so much to me. Also, let me know down below, guys, what you thought of today's thumbnail on the episode. I feel like the yellow background makes it a little bit more fun. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!